Hey, we have the green bars, we have the live counter sticking up, so we should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime Network. We are here with the Paradox Hour podcast to talk about the Owl House Season 3, what there is of it anyway. Fuck you, Disney.
Yeah,
Still
thanks,
not...
Disney.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I'm still
Disney.
not over that. Still not over that.
Some friggin' suit decides, oh, it's so much better just like cut it short, because it's not demographically appropriate. We all know what fucker men.
I mean, here's the thing, and I'm fairly sure we've almost certainly talked about this before, but we'll do it again anyway. The theory is that Disney execs, well, the nice to Disney theory is that Disney execs didn't want the kind of storytelling that Owl House was using, which is serialized, an overarching story.
Yeah, most cartoons aimed at younger children tend to be more episodic.
Yes, they wanted,
as the theory goes.
They wanted episodic shows to be on the Disney Channel. And as a result, they cancelled Owl House partway through season 1.
After already renewing it for season 2, which I had.
However, it feels telling that I'm fairly sure the decision and when they told Dana Terrace about the cancellation was not that long after the season 1 episode Enchanting Grumfight, where it became very Enchanted Grumfight and then Wing It Like Witches, both of which very evident that Owl House was going in a queer direction, and I think we all know how Disney feels about that.
I mean, they're happy to pander when it's like little small things, but not when it's actually dedicating an actual storyline to it.
Yeah. Whether that's true or not, I doubt we'll ever know unless one of those suits decides to, I don't know, brag about it.
Or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as a result, it meant that we only got basically 3, was it double-length specials, basically?
Yeah. They were all like hour-length based, almost.
So yeah. I think I'm trying to remember, because obviously we are getting to this quite late, because the first of these specials, thanks to them, aired in October 2022, and we are in August 2024, so nearly 2 years behind on that. But I believe there was a certain element of like the Disney execs not actually realizing how popular Owl House was until, like, because they put the episode up on YouTube, and like the view count was a lot higher than they expected. Yeah. Which, everyone and their mother was like, yeah, we tried to fucking tell you that, you fucking idiots.
As it turns out, suits generally don't know what they're talking about. Because they're idiots.
But, yeah. It is what it is. I don't really want to talk too much about the fucking, suits, because they don't deserve any, any real discussion or credit. It all goes on to the, production.
The actual creators. Yeah.
The actual creators, the production team, the voice actors, and all that, Owl House was beyond, actually greenlighting the series. Owl House's success was very much in spite of them rather than because of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thanks to Them was the first of them. We also had For the Future and Watching and Dreaming, but obviously we'll try and focus on one at a time, starting with Thanks to Them as the first one. And honestly, there's an element of it that makes me sad.
Is it the whole thing of the montage of them in the human world?
Just a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
They outright lampshade it too.
Yeah.
Which is... Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's ever actually said how long, well... Yeah, I don't... Is it ever actually said how long they're in the human realm for?
Not to my knowledge. I think it's a few weeks to a few months.
I mean... The final bit of it is Halloween, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes. And Luz was sent off to the Boiling Isles in at the beginning of summer.
Beginning of summer, yeah.
And it's not clear how long she was in the Boiling Isles.
So, I mean, it's at the very... if we were to assume that they popped out at the end of summer, which is not necessarily true, of course, but if we assume that, then that's at least 2 months.
Yes.
Potentially as much as 3, I would say. I don't think we can go more than 3 necessarily, because Luce was obviously in the Boiling Isles for quite some time.
Yeah, she was there for at least a month or 2.
Yeah.
Probably more. So it's hard to gauge the exact timeline, but we do know she went to the Boiling Isles beginning of summer, which is, late May, early June, depending on the school district.
Yeah.
Which puts the show on the whole timeline of about 4-ish months.
Sort of explains a lot of how Luce was reacting to the trauma, at least.
Yeah, no, this mom was not ready for the trauma.
No, she was not. I mean, yeah, it is just so unfortunate that there are, throughout that montage, there are so many things that honestly could have been their own episodes or parts of their own episodes throughout, and yeah, it just really is just so sad. I'm not even going to necessarily say disappointing, because obviously, as we've said, that's not on the creative team, the production team. It is all down to,
honestly,
people.
They pulled off a pretty big miracle by just managing to do as well as they did with the runtime they had.
I mean, that's the thing, these 3 specials are still very good. Obviously, we can look at it and go, man, I wish there was more of this, there was more of this, there was more of this, whatever. But it's still a very,
And
very good trio of episodes that finish the story of Owl House.
and in a pretty damn satisfactory manner as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to them being mostly taking place in the human world is really neat, and we get a lot of good stuff there with just the kids other than Luz just reacting to the odd to them aspects of the human world.
Yeah.
And it would have been so great to get like half a season's worth of material out of that, but it was not to be.
Try to think. Try to think. Try to think where to start. Where to go off from. What exactly to talk about? I mean, yes. It's good. It's good getting to see. I mean, if nothing else, this is the first time that Hunter is able to really interact with the gang without necessarily the pressure of Belos
And this bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bella's getting splattered against the wall by the Collector is still a fucking oh shit moment.
Yeah.
But him tagging along to the human realm is also disturbing.
Yeah, I think we all sort of expected something like that would happen, just to give, an actual antagonist throughout this episode. Not to mention, even, after the season 2 finale, I know I personally was questioning, how much of an actual bad guy the Collector was, and whether he was actually more, of the misguided sort. Meanwhile, obviously, there is, no debate about whether Belos is Belos is a card-carrying
evil
villain.
piece of shit.
Yeah, he is an evil piece of shit. I mean, hey, he's a fucking colonialist from like the 17th, 18th century. Of course he is.
Not just a colonialist. He's also a witch hunter, which is, always a great sign.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really good stuff overall with the kids.
I mean, in terms of actual character stuff, the two who obviously take the
spotlight,
take the focus are Luce and Hunter, both of whom are, keeping secrets. Luce believing that she helped Belos in his plan for the Day of Unity, and Hunter's whole thing as, a Grimwalker who is basically a clone of, as we learn, Belos' brother. I mean, that was quite an interesting and quite a, I think, good way of getting the the history of Belos and how he came to the Boiling Owls and what his history was before, he was calling himself Belos and doing all that sketchy shit. But I still, going back to Luce and Hunter getting the character development, I do think that probably one of my favorite scenes of the entire series is the one where Luce and Hunter, charge or go into that room thinking that or worrying that they've that Bellos is there. Hunter sort of really worrying, and Luce reassuring him, and from remembering correctly, honestly, it's been probably too long since I've watched the episode. I probably should have watched it before now.
Oh well.
Yeah. But Luce, reassuring him and saying that he is a part of the family, and Hunter understandably breaking down.
Yep. See, it's all about family. But yeah, I do love the bonding that happens between between the kids over the course of the episode, as well as just like the development that we get for Hunter and Luce.
Yeah. And obviously, Luce's struggles in this episode are compounded with, as I said, the whole thing of her feeling guilty about the whole Bellos stuff, but also her trying to figure out and worrying about what's going to happen if/when they do figure out a way to reopen the portal and get back to the demon realm. Because obviously when the last time Luce saw her mum before coming back here, she promised to stay in the human realm. But that obviously, creates lots of conflicted feelings.
Yep. That it does.
And, her feeling guilty about what she's done to the demon realm, and her feeling guilty about what she put Camilla throughout this entire ordeal, does basically tag team to make Luce decide that she's going to stay in the human realm.
Yep.
And then again, I would say we properly get, for the first time, Luce's backstory in the form of those video clips that Camilla watches. And how, the Good Witch Azura series got her through the depression of her father's death, and, kept her going as it went. And Camilla eventually realizing, that it would be wrong to stop Luce from going back to the demon realm, even if, obviously it's not going to be a full-time thing, but just stopping it altogether would be the wrong thing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the conflict that Luce is undergoing here is one that we've seen a lot before, but I think the way that it's both set up and ultimately handled is really interesting in the show.
Now, again, for a 40-something minute episode, it is remarkably, is remarkably well paced, especially considering how much stuff they had to fit in, at the start of the episode to get them to, end of October, where all the plot stuff actually happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty nuts how much they managed to fit into just a single episode. Again, it's a miracle how well they managed to pace everything out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a credit to the production team's storytelling ability, honestly.
Yeah.
Something that we haven't mentioned, obviously we get, the main group that we've been hanging around with in the Demon Realm, Luce, Gus, Hunter, Amity, and Willow. But we also get the addition of V, which is really nice.
Yep. V's a fun one.
V is especially fun because obviously she's been living in the human realm for, however long.
Few months now.
However long Luce was in the demon realm, so actually knows what the fuck she's doing.
Mm-hmm. The contrast is very funny between V and the other kids. Or the other Demon Realm natives.
I mean, we get that that scene of the Demon Realm kids trying to learn Spanish and V just absolutely schooling them.
It's great. I do love, whenever there's, a realm transmigration type scenario, and it's, there's always that one character that adapts ludicrously well.
Mm-hmm.
Always very fun. But yeah, now V is great. She's an excellent addition to the cast. I do also like the little bits of interactions we see with various characters in the. I think I mentioned already. I like how they react to the human realm, and it's to them oddities. To us, it's mundane shit.
I mean, the whole giraffe thing is fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, the giraffe thing was great. I was not expecting that punchline, but at the same time, it makes perfect sense.
But even something as simple as when they go to the library, and obviously, Amity worked in a library back in the Demon Realm, and so she is completely perplexed by this very ordinary place that doesn't move, doesn't have a living beings act as the bookcases,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always enjoy whenever
the culture shock aspect of it, yeah.
Yeah, supernatural beings are just amazed by mundane things.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. It's also just a great trope. Yeah, and then we get the little bit the lore drop that you mentioned earlier of the full backstory of Belos and his brother.
Mm-hmm. And Caleb meeting a witch who looks rather familiar.
Yes, there is understandable speculation that said witch is almost certainly an ancestor of the Clawthorn family.
I believe it has actually been confirmed by Dana Terrace.
Oh, I'm shocked. Shocked, I'd say.
Evelyn is, in fact, is an ancestor of the Clawthorns.
Do we get any confirmation on whether or not Caleb was actually, whatchamacallit? Also an ancestor or not?
Well, I'm fairly sure it is confirmed that, the children that Evelyn had were sired by Caleb. So yeah, there is a relation there.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry if I wasn't clearer. But yes, no, it's really fun lore drop. I do love the whole thing of Masha just lampshading what actually went down, or what probably went down.
Oh, Marcia in general is great. They are an absolute gem.
Mm-hmm.
And the little bits of ship tease they had with V was also very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's just good stuff in general. But yeah,
there's also
then we finally get the big go ahead.
But there's also obviously talked about character development for Luce and for Hunter, but we also get some character development for Camilla. Because obviously, I would say for a decent, definitely up until what episode was it now? Actually,
I think it was like midpoint season 2. Like, if you're referring to what I think you're referring to.
Yeah, Yesterday's Lie. Yes. Where, Luce was able to transmit her spirit back to the human realm, at least.
Mm-hmm.
There was very much a the fandom did not think very highly of Camilla, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, up until that point, all we'd really gotten with her was that she'd basically
sent Luce away to
she'd been quite pushing getting Luce to go to this reality check summer camp, which, as it turns out, wouldn't have been that bad, because all it did was put a bunch of weirdos in one place together where they could interact.
Yep.
And obviously didn't do anything to curb their weirdness.
Oh, it's almost like trying to send someone to a place that tries to change an aspect of what they are by grouping them with a bunch of other people with the same goal in mind. It doesn't really work.
But obviously we did not know that at the time. But yes, and the fact that the only other scene we'd seen since then was that Camilla was unable to realize that V was not Luce.
Replaced by a shapeshifter, yeah.
Yeah. Quite an obvious one, considering some of the spelling errors we saw in one of those letters.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we got Yesterday's Lie, where again we got a little bit more with Camilla and saw that she is a good person, but at the same time, she wanted Luce back to the human realm permanently.
Which, understandable a little bit as parents.
But obviously, it set some parts of the fandom off.
Yep.
So getting this episode where, we actually get to spend some proper time with Camilla and get to see her point of view, because we also, we get those, we get that dream, or dream sequence of, Camilla's, reactions to everything that happened with Luce as Luce grew up, and that, Camilla was fully accepting of Luce's weirdness, and it was more...
It's more that she was just pressured from the outside to make Luce conform more than anything else.
Yeah.
And I do love that this whole thing resolves into her deciding to go to the demon realm with Luz to help her.
Mm-hmm.
With a full-ass baseball bat this one.
Camilla is very willing to. Camilla is very willing to throw down when necessary.
I do remember some of the fandom joking that she should have brought Lechonka instead. Which, you know, would have been a very fun weapon, but I don't know if it would have been technically as effective.
Yeah.
But yeah. Speaking of the end of the special, though, there is the whole confrontation with Belos.
Yes, because Belos has basically possessed Hunter at this point.
Because Hunter did a silly thing and inspected something with an open wound.
Yeah.
Really not a good idea. See, this is why you don't inspect things with open wounds, because you can get possessed by evil, half-undead, demonic dictators.
To be fair, he's used to wearing gloves most of the time.
I know. I'm just making a joke out of how outlandish to the point that is to make. But it makes sense in context.
Yeah. But yeah, and we get a really good fight sequence. You know, V tries to basically eat Belos.
Careful, V, that'll give you indigestion.
Yeah, then we do get some really good fight sequences, and then Hunter starts fighting back, and Belos basically, what was it again? So I believe the whole point of this was that the group had basically managed to find some Titan's blood that had been around, or had been left behind in the human realm. Belos obviously also wanted that, so he could go back to the demon realm and, you know, continue to take it over. Titan blood goes in the water. Belos retrieves it, opens the portal, and goes through, but it leaves Hunter basically, at the very least, unconscious, if not, you know,
Dying.
And it's only when
Flapjack's
Hunter
makes the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. So yeah, the group minus V goes through the portal because V has to, you know, try and keep things going while Luz and Camilla are away, but also V is not comfortable in the demon realm, understandably. And yeah, that's.
I do like that they give V the car keys and everything.
Yeah. Well, no, it's that Camilla still has the car keys, so V doesn't have them, and it's only when they go through the portal that V is like, shoot.
That was so funny.
I mean, that's the thing for a what is, you know, a fairly not entirely dark, obviously, but, you know, relatively dark because of the angst that understandable angst that Luz and Hunter are going through, and to a lesser extent Camilla are going through. There is definitely a darker tone, but there are absolutely, you know, some very good comedic moments. I mean, Luz made a fucking PowerPoint presentation to come out as bi.
That was great. I do love how accepting Camilla is of that, too.
I mean, we mentioned the punchline with the giraffe.
I do love how a super invested Gus gets in the human realm.
Mhm.
But yeah, overall, it's a good special. It's just slightly hampered by the fact that we could have had more, damn it. We
Yeah,
could have had more.
like I said, it's season 3 could have and really should have been basically
As long as the first 2 seasons, yes.
not even necessarily as long as the first 2 seasons, but it should have been in its entirety the kids in the human realm.
Or at least half, or at least, like, there
Yeah,
should have been more of it.
I wouldn't say a season the same length as the first two, but a 10 episode season would have.
If they were doing a 20-episode season for the third and final season, half of those episodes could have been the kids in the human realm, and it would have worked great.
Yeah.
Also, probably a bit more of it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched Amphibia because I just haven't been around to it yet, but from what I've heard, Amphibia did a similar thing with its third and final season, where it had the protagonist return to the human world with the stowaways, full of trauma and all that, and everything I've heard about that show tells me that they handled it really well.
Yeah.
It's like, I really wish that they were able to do that with the Owl House.
Mm-hmm.
But alas.
I mean, I think the difference is that I believe, again, I haven't watched Amphibia either. I do want to at some point. It's just about finding finding the time. But
I'm in your same boat, Mel.
Mm-hmm.
Currently sinking.
Look, I've gotten to a point where the rate of water coming in and the rate of water I'm chucking out is about the same. So
Yeah, I'm in that boat.
But yeah, I believe the tone of Amphibia is, at the very least, slightly lighter than Owl House. Because Owl House got pretty dark during that second season, when basically they were like, well, fuck this shit, we're getting cancelled anyway, we might as well go all out.
I want to say it got about as dark as Gravity Falls got at points. Maybe not quite that dark, but close.
Yeah. I also don't think Amphibia had a queer romance, certainly not involving its protagonists. At the very least, not until very late on. But I'm fairly sure none of that was actually canon. I'm fairly sure it is, it's just fans shipping them. I say just fans shipping them, like none of the production team don't ship them, but I don't know. As I said, I don't think they do. Which meanwhile, again, Dana Terrace and the Owl House staff basically went, well, fuck it, we're cancelled. We might as well push this as far as we can, and
Mm-hmm.
do as much as we can with this while we still have the time. So it wouldn't shock me if that had an effect.
Yeah, no. For all the engage in rainbow capitalism, Disney executives are still conservative motherfuckers.
Yeah. But to be fair, I'm fairly sure the guy who was in charge of Disney at the time has now left and has a terrible reputation. So.
Oh, Chapek? Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was right shortly after Iger stepped down.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, anything else to say for thanks to them?
No, I think we said all we can.
Alright, let's move on to the second of the two specials for the future, where the gang arrives back in the Boiling Isles and finds, oh boy, things have gone to shit.
Right, googly moogly, it's all gone to shit. But yeah, just wow. I love the whole a lot of people were speculating that would be like a full-on Max style apocalypse, but the team went in a very different direction, and I am quite pleasantly surprised by it. It's always nice to get like a unique apocalyptic aesthetic, you know. And the Collector is quite the colorful character as well.
Collector is great. I love the Collector.
Yeah. They're just like a very unique antagonist compared to most other television in general, really. The only other character I think is really like similar antagonistically is Superman's enemy, Mixie Spitlick, who is, you know,
Mitsopizlik, something like that. Yeah, it's a hard one to pronounce. Which
intentionally so.
Yeah. But this is an episode that is very much split between Loose and the gang,
Co returning, and
King and the Collector,
just recapping with everyone else.
Yeah, King and the Collector, and then Bellos doing his bullshit. So yeah, I mean, it's mostly focusing on Luce and the gang, who arrived back at Hexside to find it as one of, if not the only, you know, pocket of resistance left. And unfortunately being led by Boscha and a mysterious person none of us have seen before.
Well, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
It's Kikimora. It's Kikimora.
It's Kikimora, yeah.
I do like the whole bringing back old antagonists and new roles thing. It's always a fun way to do things. Especially if you can do it well, like they do both here and in, say, One Piece.
But yeah, on the Collector and King side, King has managed to keep Ida and Lilith from being completely from being turned into puppets. Ida is still down an arm, of course, after the results of the season 2 finale. But unfortunately, thanks to Bellos, we get the overhearing without hearing the full conversation, misunderstanding bullshit, which, if I'm
everyone's
honest,
favorite.
Yeah, it's honestly one of my most disliked tropes at this point.
I don't know anyone who actually likes that trope, and it frustrates me that people keep using it in their writing. If you're gonna eavesdrop for the whole fucking conversation, goddammit.
Yeah. And obviously this is all compounded by Bellos taking over Rain in puppet form, and you know, whispering dark thoughts in the Collector's ear. Meanwhile, yes, with the Hexside thing, the gang try and, you know, what was it again? I don't think it's that they try and take over. It is just that they talk back to Boccia and Kikimora, and especially once they realize, who Kikimora actually is, they're taking none of her shit, and start fighting back. But yeah, eventually gets to the point where Lucy's talisman egg hatches, which is neat, and we get to meet String Bean.
String Bean is the light.
Amity has a moment with Boccia, and Willow, Gus, and Hunter have a whole thing of Willow finally cracking under the pressure of having been sort of, I would argue the one taking this the best, bottling down her feelings, so it seems like she's the one taking all of this the best. And finally, you can only bottle things down so much before it, all comes...
explodes.
Yeah, it all explodes out, which obviously happened. And, Hunter in particular helping to calm her down, especially with the help of learning that he can do magic without a staff now, thanks to Flapjack.
I do also like the switching gears a little bit. I do like the whole thing of Belos being haunted by Caleb and the other Grimwalkers. Effectively,
Yeah.
Either tripping balls and hallucinating them. By the way, it's very funny, or very, very engaging.
Yes.
There's also the whole thing with Odalia being just stuck at being the collector's servant, which is very funny.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Very happy with that.
I do remember a lot of people were annoyed that Belos didn't wind up possessing Odalia instead of Rain.
Yeah, well, Daenerys has to make Rain suffer at all times, unfortunately.
Also, it just wouldn't have been as effective emotionally if
I mean, we wouldn't have cared, so...
Exactly. It would have just been karma, and everyone would be like, oh, cool.
Like, I think... Obviously, this is something we'll get onto, but I believe that MoringMark did, in fact, do a comic where Belos possessed Odalia. And everyone was like, "Oh no, what a tragedy! Well, guess we're just gonna have to, finish Belos off with you and with him inside you. That's what a shame. Oh no, we'll all miss you, Odalia, completely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that was a great one.
Like I said, we'll get to that get to the MoringMark stuff later on, assuming we have time. I hope we'll have time, but
we likely will.
We should. But yeah, I would obviously, being the middle portion and very much being this sort of, bridge point between the first and third episodes, between, the stuff in the human realm and actually confronting the Collector. It is probably the weakest of the specials. It's still good, and it's still enjoyable.
It also is kind of a little bit handicapped by needing to have a having a final climax, and Basha and Kikimora are not exactly as compelling of antagonists as the Collector and Belos are.
I personally would argue that this is probably the special that, had there been a full length season 3, probably still would have been about this length. Certainly the Boscha and Kikimora stuff, that probably would have just been an episode on its own.
Maybe a 2-parter if they felt like stretching it out a little bit.
Maybe at most, but
some of the stuff a little bit of room to breathe. That's about it.
The King and the Collector stuff, again,
That could have been a standalone episode, honestly.
that could have been a standalone episode. It also could have been, more stretched out. Could have had more
It's like a
episodes devoted to
subplot
it.
across multiple episodes, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. It could have been a thing where they, sort of did one episode in the human realm, one episode in the demon realm, and switched back and forth, sort of thing, so we could see how things were progressing in both realms. But yeah, no, it was still good, and there's still a lot of really good stuff in this. Again, Luce's stuff of with her powers and with String Bean is very good. Oh, the what was it? Was it a running gag with Edric being incredibly injured, or was it just a one-time thing? I can't remember.
I don't remember. It's been a hot minute.
There was there was also the reveal that Bartholomew's full name is Matt Tholomew, which Gus is actually so angry about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so funny. Yes. As you said, this is probably like the most the least substantive of the three episodes. It's a necessary bridge point, but it is still like it has its it's definitely like it shows its cracks the most, but for sure.
Like I said, we could probably discuss it in more detail and go into little bits and pieces, but there's not, as you said, least substantive, and I do kind of want to get into Watching and Dreaming, which is probably the most substantive of the three, and holy shit.
Extremely good episode.
Because, yeah, 55 minutes, Luce and the gang are caught by the Collector and sent into some kind of dream nightmare realm.
It was really unclear.
Yeah, we get a whole thing with Luce King and Ida reuniting and having a whole thing with the Collector while Belos, goes to take things over because he's an asshole.
Yeah, I do feel like he had a little bit of motive decay at this point, but he's also like gone through a lot of metamorphosis and body hopping, and he's probably not all there at this stage.
I mean,
he's also just been like an asshole from the beginning, so it's really unclear if like his motives had already devolved to this point, and he was just like no longer trying to obfuscate it with a charming facade.
Well, the point was that he wanted to, destroy the demon realm to begin with.
I know he was a genocidal asshole from the beginning.
Yeah.
Now my thing is like he's a little bit more over the top at this stage, as opposed to being like the faux affably evil type that he was before. Which I do imagine is just due to him slowly melting down over the past several episodes.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely been a loss of sanity, but there's also an element of he tried it the faux affable way. It didn't work. He got nearly destroyed by the Collector, and
oh yeah,
yeah, now he is just going, okay, just gonna murder them all. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna get them to murder themselves. I tried that, didn't work. Fuck you.
he did the whole Thanos thing of fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah. So yeah, I can sort of get that, but I think at that point there really was, as you said, there was a loss of sanity, and he just wanted to murder all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not saying this as a criticism, by the way. I'm just saying, like, it's something I observed. Like, Bellows is a lot less collected than he was before, like, season 3. And it's at the most apparent in the final special.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said, we got another good montage with Collector, Luce, King, and Ida, and which again could have been at least an episode all on its own, not a series of episodes. But they actually managed to.
They could have just, yeah.
They managed to get through to the Collector, with the power of friendship.
And also the Dynamite.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the Collector sort of takes that to heart, and they try to use the power of friendship on the one person he should not have used the power of friendship on, and it gets Luce basically killed.
Yep. And to be fair, the Collector is devastated by this. And,
and it is the most.
Guilt.
Yeah, it is one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the entire show. Like. Him finally, realizing what death is.
It
is so upsetting, and especially with, Ida and King absolutely fucking losing it. Marcelo Galindo 84, thank you for the follow. It is very appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
We are good. We are talking about the Owl House Season 3, as you can see by the title. We are on to the final special, Watching and Dreaming, so I probably should have put the spoiler warning up now that I think about it. Better late than never.
You can do that right now.
Yeah, better late than never. Part of it is that I'm so used to having it, because I've split the podcast and the anime podcast scenes up now. I'm so used to having it up on the fucking anime one that I kind of forgot to do it in this one.
So you just kind of forgot, huh?
Yeah, I just kind of forgot.
Well, at least you didn't forget about, like, the Iron Fleet or something.
Shit, I knew I was forgetting to tell the Navy something. I'm sure they'll deal with it fine. So yeah, it's, like, really fucking, like, Ida and King do truly lose it. Like, go full feral.
And you can't blame them for doing so.
No, you can't. Absolutely not. Meanwhile, Luce gets to meet King's dad, who is a fucking gem. I say dad, King's parent.
It's really unclear how Titan reproduction works. they don't go into it. It's a kid show. I don't blame them for not going into it.
No, I don't blame them either, but, I mean, they are known as Papa Titans, so maybe, yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't know. Regardless, it is very, they are a very interesting fellow, and I do like the banter he has with Luz.
Yeah.
And just have a really chill vibe as well.
Oh yeah, 100%, and has clearly been, watching things and, clearly adores
King.
obviously adores King as his son, but also adores, Luce and Ida for being there for King.
Mm-hmm. Also, just love the casual loungewear look that he has.
Yeah, no, that's pretty great. To be fair, the dude's at a point where she doesn't have to give a fuck anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, if you're allowed to just do everything in loungewear, why not, you know?
God, I forgot he had a bad girl coven shirt on.
That was so funny. But yeah, whatchamacallit? Uh, yeah, we watched The Owl House in its entirety.
Yeah, we've watched it all. Some of us have gone beyond that and have read fan fiction for it, because why the fuck not? And as we'll almost certainly be getting to later on, we both read MoringMark's comics, which we will be discussing in some detail as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Papa Titan gives Luce his whatever remaining life force. And Luce gets Titan form, which is fucking
really
metal
cool
as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great form. But yeah, no, the design's great, and the subsequent fight with Belos is also excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the whole thing at the end with Belos just being reduced to a head, and King, Ida, and Rain just all walking over and just stomping on him.
Well, yeah, so Rain is now back to being a person again, which is great.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, very much appreciated, and thank you for the follow again. However, they have been trapped. Thankfully, Ida, King, and Luce rescue them, and the group as a whole start to, fuck shit up. Meanwhile, the Collector has gone to help the rest of the gang, Amity, Gus, Will, Hunter, and Camilla, stop the Collector's, palace platform thing from falling.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we get Luce ripping Belos out, which, again, the callbacks there are just perfect. And the animation, holy fucking shit.
They really went ham on the animation, yeah.
There are some really good cuts of animation throughout these three specials. That is probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then, as you said, Belos tries to be like, "Oh no, I'm good now. You can forgive me." Luce just walks the fuck away, and yeah,
Yeah,
stompity stomp
great.
stomp.
It's what he deserves.
Mm-hmm. Then things are back to normal. We get some people reuniting. We get everyone turned back to normal. The Collector leaving, though obviously with some new friendships and a new traveling buddy in King's teddy bear Francois.
Yep.
And then we get the epilogue, which honestly is probably one of the best time skip epilogues I've seen personally.
There are a lot of time skip epilogues out there for that's like default ways to end something. It's not a bad way to end something.
there are a lot of them, and you know, a fair few of them are actually kind of crap.
Yeah, oh, it's all the execution, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this is one of the best executed ones, for certain.
I mean, if nothing else, I love all the time skip designs. They're all fucking great. Really nice to see that the gang all have a flapjack tattoo.
Yeah, that's great.
And yeah, and the reveal that King's Titan powers are, you know, getting to the point where Luce can start using glyph magic again.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's... Well, beyond... The Collector is the only one who really gets any character development in this episode, or in this special, because obviously it is the last special. It is very much a case of, you know, there isn't much more to be done in terms of character development.
Correct.
You know, the Collector's character development was more of a, you know, way of beating him as an antagonist, rather than them, you know, going through protagonist character development, let's say. But, you know, it's still done really well, because, you know, as we've seen over the episodes that the Collector has been in, they are, you know, they are not a bad person. They were manipulated by Belos just as much as everyone else was. It's just that they had, you know, a lot more power to do things as a result of that manipulation than others. And, you know, the reasons that the Collector went along with Belos were far more benign than some other of Belos's flunkies, like Terra Snapdragon, for example.
Yep.
You can, you know, go die in a hole.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a really good special overall, and it's a really great send-off to the series.
Again, there is just a level of disappointment of, God, I really do wish, you know, the show had more episodes.
Oh, I'm right with you there.
You know, how much better would the show... I mean, this is obviously still a show I hold in such high regard, and is one of my favorite, you know, not even just Western animation shows, just, you know, Western shows in general.
Oh yeah, honestly, in terms of like the Western animated canon, it's up there with Gravity Falls.
Oh, 100%, 100%. You know, those two shows are only on a slightly lower level than Avatar.
Yeah, honestly, we should do like a Western animation tier list at some point. We all know Avatar's going into S tier. Honestly, probably a tier of its own, but still. Yeah, like Owl House, Gravity Falls, and all those and shows like them, they're like top tier shows.
No, there's definitely been a, you know, a boon recently in the Western animation industry. You know, you've got shows like, you know, you obviously had Gravity Falls earlier in the 2010s, but you had Owl House, you had Amphibia. More recently, you've got stuff on the adult side like the Harley Quinn show. You've got My Adventures with Superman. There's a Batman show that's just come out that's getting some pretty good reviews.
You got whatchamacallit, has been to a lesser extent. Shoot, I'm trying to think. There was another one that the Vox Machina cartoon has also been really good. Like, there's just been like, honestly, there's been like waves of really good animated content coming out here in the West across like since the 2000s. Honestly, even earlier with like Batman the Animated Series in the 1990s. But it'll be. I do hope we get more good stuff like that because we do have a lot of. We do see like ebb and flow, and post Owl House, it's been a lot of ebb.
To a certain extent, it is because, you know, these creators are. You've got to think.
They're kind of being stifled under capitalism.
Well, you've got to think that these creators are, you know, looking to do similar stuff to, you know, what Dana Terrace did, what Alex Hirsch did, what Matt Brawley did, and they're looking at, you know, they're looking at Disney, which, you know, cancelled Owl House. I don't think Amphibia was necessarily cancelled, but I don't think it was given the, you know, leeway that it would have preferred. And Alex,
it apparently got screwed by the network several times.
Yeah, and Alex Hirsch's, you know, battles with Disney's standards and practices have
they're thoroughly documented.
WB, you know, are
under the the questionable helmsmanship of one David Zaslav, who is a cocksucking fuckwad.
Yeah. Netflix isn't a huge amount better in terms of the quick cancellation stuff.
It's kind of wild that She-Ra was able to get like a full ass 52 odd episodes.
Mm-hmm. But, you know,
Cartoon Network and Nick also haven't been doing much better outside of like their cash cows.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't Cartoon Network basically get canned?
I think Cartoon Network is basically gone now, yeah. To be fair, in terms of Nick, I'm not actually sure how much Nick is actually involved in this. I would have to check, but the
Nick is under Paramount, if I recall correctly.
Okay, so yeah, it is. Is it part of Nickelodeon? I think so. It's the very least. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is Nickelodeon. The Fairly Odd Parents, like, it's not a reboot, but, you know, continuation series called A New Wish has apparently been pretty fucking good.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Is Shithead not involved in that?
Butch Hartman is down as an executive producer. I don't know what that necessarily means, but
not a huge amount of involvement then.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think he's actually a part of the production in any real capacity.
Yeah, no. They're probably just using his ideas and he's making a little bit of money off of it. That's about it.
They probably have to put him down as an executive producer considering his involvement in the previous series. But yeah, whether he actually has any say about it is a whole different matter. So yeah, so that one is on Nickelodeon's. So, you know, they're doing decently on that. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure how much, you know, not sure how much stuff certainly Cartoon Network is putting out.
Well, not much anymore. You got some independent web creators as well. Or not always independent, but like more niche companies that have been producing animation. You got Prime and a couple other streaming services producing animation. But yeah, there's really like,
I mean, current stuff that Cartoon Network is doing. There's Craig of the Creek, which I have heard good things about. It's obviously still doing Teen Titans Go, because of course it is.
that show will never fucking die.
It's got Tiny Toons Luniversity, which I heard a lot about when it was first actually being a thing, but then not much else after that. It's saying that it's still got Amazing World of Gumball, but I thought that had ended by now.
I think it did.
Okay, no, there is the 7th season of Amazing World of Gumball announced to be in production in 2023.
Huh.
So,
Neat.
Okay, good for them, because Gumball is fucking insane. And is actually very good. But yeah, other than that, it doesn't have a lot of, like, original stuff that it's got going right now. It's mostly just got reruns of old stuff. Actually,
that doesn't surprise me. How the mighty have fallen.
Fairly sure it did have that, whatchamacallit, Did it have that Adventure Time spin-off?
Oh, I think so.
What was it called again?
I don't remember. I'm not super familiar with Adventure Time, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. Fiona and Cake, that's it. Fiona and Cake.
Right, okay.
But yeah, that's releasing on Max, not even on Cartoon Network, so yeah. So yeah, Cartoon Network certainly isn't doing a lot. Sort of gotten off topic, but yes, as a result, you know, I think that these creators are in sort of a, you know, tricky spot of, okay, where can we go where we'll be able to create the stuff that we want to create
Without being stifled by suits and such.
Without being, you know, without having standards and practices all up in our face, and, you know, without the fear that we'll just get cancelled a season in, without being able to actually do, you know, all of the stuff that we want to do. So it doesn't shock me that we are very much in an ebb period for that, for, you know, a lot of these creators going, let's wait and see, you know, let's wait and see to see what will happen here.
I mean, we've already started getting some more unionization going, which is, you know, definitely a plus.
Oh yeah, no. Unions are, I would say, almost always a good thing.
There's a couple of exceptions, but yeah. Discuss that here because it is not relevant.
There's also, you know, X-Men 97 in terms of a good animated series that came out recently.
X-Men 97 is excellent.
I still need to watch it.
Highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. It's only 10 episodes you can watch through in an afternoon.
Yeah, I know.
I basically did that.
I'll get to it at some point, I'm sure. I promise that I will get to it at some point.
I'll hold you to it. Yes. The Owl House is not like the last of a wave of good animation. It's just like its ending kind of signifies like the slowing down of releases for good animated projects, I think.
Well, it was
Because
a very publicized, case study in the interferences in terms of
executives.
executives and being cancelled before its time.
Hmm.
Because again, as much as Disney execs may want to claim, oh, it's because we didn't want to put a serialized TV show on the Disney Channel. Well, you have that nice, convenient fucking streaming service right there. You could have put it there.
They claim that they hadn't thought of putting it on Disney Plus by that point because it was a new service or some shit. I don't fucking remember the excuse they used exactly. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Oh wow, Ghost of Molly McGee is also ended, which
that got canceled, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. The Patrick Star Show is apparently still going strong.
Haven't they kicked Steven Hillenburg's corpse enough?
No. They'll never be able to.
They'll just keep looting that poor man's corpse until he's well and truly done rolling in his grave.
Unfortunately, he was rather prescient when he did that whole thing with Mr. Krabs going, am I really going to defile this grave for money? Of course I am!
Yep. There's also the whole Camp Coral thing, which Hillenburg was also very adamantly against. And they greenlit it the moment after, basically moments after he died. So yeah, fuck execs.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me.
They suck.
They are assholes in that sense. Yeah, they are assholes in a lot of senses. In a lot of senses, but yes, in that particular sense as well.
Yep.
Do we want to get onto the
Might as well do the Fanworks, yeah.
Yeah, the Fanworks bit. So,
well, there's been many fanfics and such that have stemmed from Al Hell's both during its run and afterwards, and I believe by far the most prominent are MoringMark's comics.
Mm-hmm.
Which, range from funny to very intense to downright heartbreaking. Really good stuff overall, honestly.
I mean, there's also it splits up into stuff that happens before the series, stuff that happens during the series, and stuff that happens in the future after the series.
Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that happened, like, during the series, quote-unquote, wound up being inaccurate because MoringMark predicted a lot of stuff that wound up not being what happens in the series, but still pretty neat concepts at the very least.
Yeah. It's actually quite interesting. MoringMark has been doing Owl House comics for a long time now, because he started doing them January 2021 is when his first one is on Instagram. And it's Luce doing the light glyph, asking King if he knows any other glyphs, and King drawing Bill Cipher.
Oh my god. I know MoringMark did other comics for other series before.
Yes, primarily.
I think it was Star versus.
Yes, Star versus the Forces of Evil. Yeah. was the primary one, I believe.
Which unfortunately did not end nearly as well as the Owl House.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But that is neither here nor there. All the Owl House stuff, though, it has been very fun.
I mean, it's to the point where there have been I think mostly joking accusations, but certainly some joking accusations that Mark is Data Terrace in disguise.
Yeah.
Is using this to, get the ideas she had for the series but couldn't get around to out into the world.
That's certainly one theory. A game theory. No, just kidding.
Oh, there's a funny thing. There's a funny instance of that happening in the wrestling world right now, which is absolutely hilarious. But I won't go into that now. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of long runners. I mean, fairly recently, they finished the A Little Hint of Blue storyline, which was the romance between Scara and Viney, which was very good.
I did like the whole thing that he put out about the whole ships being and the relative canonicity of each of them was really funny. He has a lot of really funny one-shots like that.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a ton of one-shots. I mean we mentioned the one that I have actually found of Belos possessing Odalia and being like, "You can't even bring yourself to attack me now, can you?" Them just looking at each other, shrugging, and then cutting to Belos Odalia just on the floor.
Yep.
Having been absolutely stomped.
MoringMark's also not afraid to use just like straight up meme stuff in the various comics he makes. Like I do recall seeing the Yamcha pose and the Family Guy death pose at different points.
Yeah.
Which are just inherently funny by this stage.
I mean, are there any that you can remember off the top of your head that are your favorites, or that are favorites of yours?
God, it's been so long since I've read some of them. I have read a lot of them too, so some of them kind of blended together.
I mean,
there was a recent one about Willow and Amity having a sleepover, and Amity finding out the hard way about Willow just being a tosser and turner. That was a very funny one with a cute resolution too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember when I did actually follow MoringMark, but I think it was between season 2 and season 3.
Might be around the same point for me as well.
But the one that I do remember because it gets reposted a lot is the collector turning Odalia into a Muppet.
Yeah.
I also really love the stuff he's done with AZ, and the future storyline stuff. I think that's been really enjoyable. And again, it can be, it can be a little difficult to do that kind of thing. With future characters and portraying the past characters as, still themselves, but, I mean, it's an issue that fucking Korra had, isn't it? That everyone hated the way they portrayed the gang, for the most part.
I feel like there's been a lot more understanding of it in, well, not appreciation, but like respect for the take as with hindsight, because it portrays them as, flawed people who didn't automatically overcome all their flaws just because they grew up. But yeah, there's always going to be that, like, hey, how do you handle the kid heroes now that they're grown up and may or may not have kids of their own?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard needle to thread.
It is definitely a hard needle to thread. I think it's the one that MoringMark does very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he handles it quite well, and it is very fun, and it results in some really interesting storylines.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we just finished the Fighting Coven one quite recently, which ended with Odalia coming back into things and manipulating AZ, which, great, wonderful.
Oh, you know what? I remembered one. The one about the one with Hootie and Teenage King was very funny.
Oh yeah.
Soon. Basically, every comic that he's done involving Hootie has been hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Because Hootie is, a fucking eldritch abomination put into a comedy series, so it's fucking great.
He's the Eldritch Danger Hoodle.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, Hootie is excellent fuel for comedy and horror in equal measure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've just found the one of Luce seeing, discovering the temple and religion of Luce. And being like, but what did I even do? I just did all this, all of this stuff. Oh, okay, I understand it now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. The one where Rain, Ida, and King are stomping Belos, and Belos is like, have mercy on me. Why? I mean, I never misgendered Rain. Shrug. Stamp slightly slower.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, it's really really fun to see. Like, it's not a full return of the series, but it's still a nice bit of the series to have.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a nice way to keep the series going in our hearts and minds. I do actually want to also shout out a couple of other things. So, as I said, I read fan fiction for it on occasion. It's how to word it. It's definitely one of the series that I will look out for, and if I'm, feeling a particular itch, I will go and search one out. But 3 in particular that I've got bookmarked. They're all, AUs because, of course, they are. But there's one that's the Haunting of Blight Manor, where Luce, Gus, and Willow are basically like YouTube ghost hunters, and they get asked to investigate the mysterious Blight Manor at the end of at the edge of town, and discover, hey, it is actually fucking haunted. And yeah, there's a whole thing there.
Manor's haunted. What? Manor's haunted.
And obviously, it ends with Lumity, because of course it does.
I meant to end with Lumity. Like, outside of mid-season 1 stuff and earlier, I'm pretty sure everyone has converged around that being the best, the main ship of the show.
You say that, but I actually did see a Lunter person out in the wild today.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Them siblings, why would you fuck with that?
I don't personally understand it, but as long as they aren't hurting anybody, let them have their ship.
If I would let them have their ship, I'm just questioning the wisdom of...
Confused about it,
I'm
yes,
baffled.
but yeah. There's one called Beyond Witches and Slippers and Hoods, just the 2 of us, which is basically strangers to lovers roommate fic in high school / college, not really sure. Can't remember exactly what the time frame is. And then there's Riposte to Flick to Feint to Lunge, which is a fencing AU, because why the fuck not?
Okay, then.
Which, again, yeah. Ends in Lumity, because of fucking course it does.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I say.
Those are the ones that I have specifically bookmarked. I'm almost certain I've read, other ones. I just can't remember them off the top of my head, having not saved them. And I'm not, quite willing to go through my entire AO3 history, because that's a recipe for disaster. It's got 184 pages.
Right.
I read a lot of fan fiction, okay?
You could use that time to watch anime, Mel.
But I like reading.
I'm mostly just kidding. You should just change the order in which you do those things. That would make things easier, wouldn't it?
Good luck getting my brain to agree to that.
I know.
The other one I want to, the other fan work I want to shout out is actually a song on YouTube called Make Believe, by a guy called Jake Neutron, with the help of Sydney Osman and Tomato Sauce, which is basically a collector song. And it's really fucking good. I really enjoy it. I'm not gonna play it because that would be rude, but it's really good, and I would advise everybody to go out and listen to it, because I do think it manages to get the sort of characterization of the collector right, despite coming out, I think, before. I think it came out before Watching and Dreaming, but after For the Future. So I think it came out between specials 2 and 3, if I'm remembering correctly. If I just quickly have a look, when was the date? Premiered January 29th, which of 2023, which was before Watching and Dreaming. Actually, to be fair, the vast majority of the work was probably done in it before For the Future as well, considering For the Future only came out January 21st of 2023. So, unless, you know, the guy got the song done in 8 days, which I somehow doubt, yeah. So did that without, you know, after about 2 weeks of production. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I really like that. Really like the song. And obviously, you know, I'm still seeing a ton of fan art for Owl House, you know, out in the wild, out on Twitter and Instagram. Mostly just for, you know, mostly for Lumini, but, you know, I'd see it for lots of other things, lots of other aspects of the show as well, though obviously Lumini is what my algorithm is trained on.
I wonder why.
But yeah, I mean, overall, Owl House is, as we've said, a very, very good show that could have been even better had it been given the time it deserved. And the fact that it wasn't is forever going to be an indictment on, you know, the Disney executives that made that decision.
Whatever their reasons, it was still a stupid fucking decision.
A very, very stupid and very, very frustrating decision, especially considering the hinted reasons. I mean, for what it is worth, I believe Dana Terrace said that she doesn't think the show was cancelled because of its, you know, queer rep, but actually, if I'm remembering correctly, didn't Disney, like, or at the very least, Chapek donate to, like, an anti-LGBTQ bill in Florida?
Not Disney itself. I'm pretty sure.
Like, not long.
And he wound up walking it back.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he got a massive amount of public backlash.
Mm-hmm. And that, you know, I think after that, even Terrace was like, okay. I'm not gonna say anything because obviously, you know, I need to still have a semi-working relationship with Disney, but that's not good, is it?
Yeah, I do find it hilarious that Alex Hirsch is, you know, in the show and has such a fucking inflammatory relationship with Disney.
I mean,
like, Disney is still willing to work with him, it seems, but like,
it's so funny. Hershey is very unwilling to certainly work on another show with Disney, I think, at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they did release the Book of Bill quite recently, which has been oh boy.
Oh, you read it?
I haven't read it. No, I haven't got it, but I've just been hearing a lot of stuff about it.
I've heard a lot of stuff about it too, including how fucked up it can get. Which, you know, shocker, I know, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's Alha's good. MoringMark comics are very fun.
Yeah.
Even the ones of dubious canonicity.
I mean, yeah. You know, if there was, yeah, I absolutely advise going and taking a look at MoringMark's comics. You know, I think his writing is very good, and I think his art is very, very good and works very well with the style of the show. I personally advise you to, you know, go and find Owl House fanfiction, because I think, you know, they're also very good. You know, even if you don't read the ones that I've mentioned there are absolutely other ones out there that, you know, you will almost certainly yeah, there are a lot of ones that are set in, you know, the canon universe where they, you know, still have their magic. I personally have gone towards the ones where they don't, just because I'm like that. But, you know, there's absolutely stuff out there, and as I said, you know, I highly recommend that song on YouTube. And, you know, we are very much scratching the surface here. There will be
Do not be under any misunderstandings. The world of fanfiction is deep and vast.
I mean, the world of fanfiction, the world of just Fanworks in general. You know, if you go to the whatchamacallit, TV tropes page, you can find, you know.
Yeah, they have a whole fanfic Rex
they have,
I'm pretty sure.
They have a fanfics Rex page, and they just a Fanworks page in general. Just, you know, offering stuff out. So yeah, I seriously recommend doing that, and, you know, just be glad that we got something like the Owl House to begin with, rather than being, you know, super pissed that it's gone. Because I know some people have taken to shitting on other shows as a result of Owl House getting cancelled.
That never gets anyone anywhere.
No. It's not those shows' faults, I can guarantee you. If you're going to take it out on anyone, take it out on the fucking Disney execs who decided it. You know, before season 2, well, before season 1 had finished airing, let alone, you know, season 2 had was airing, and, you know, only told Dana and the crew that they were getting, you know, a shortened season 3 once production on season 2 had already finished.
Which, you know, dick move.
Absolutely a dick move. You know, absolutely resulted in, you know, the rushed feelings for, you know, these specials. You know, leaving out of some stuff. Dana Terrace has publicly said that she wanted to include Hootie more, and wanted to expand the storylines of the Collector more, which, you know,
would have been definitely possible if they had more to work with for season 3.
But yeah, I think that's probably all we've got to say. Owl House is a very good series. You should watch it. You should and find Fanworks that you want to see. thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. In terms of future stuff, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tomorrow we've got no D&D, but we will have a stream. We'll see what that is and when that is. It's probably not going to be at our usual D&D time of 6 p.m. British time, but it'll probably be maybe an hour or two after that, depending on availability.
Yep.
Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and all that YouTube stuff.
Like and subscribe, comment down below, bell icon, etc.
Okay, I do not like what Twitch has done with its mobile app. Otherwise, again, thank you for watching, and we will hopefully see you tomorrow.
Later.